To succeed in life, you need to play to your strengths. All right, video done. That's it. Okay, no, I'm just playing, but you would think it would just be that simple, right? Like, damn, that's pretty obvious. Just, of course, whatever I do, I should just do what I'm good at. But that's actually not how we're taught. As a matter of fact, if you look at it, it's actually quite the opposite. We actually are told to focus more on our weaknesses than our strengths. And I'm sure most of you, like me, that you grew up just in a lower to middle class family, going to a public school where you just went to all these random classes that you do not need, but they try to force you to pass it, to pass a test so you can graduate. And then after graduation, you are not using any of this stuff at all. And then your parents aren't helping because if you are failing a class, rather than saying, hey, is this something you're not interested in? They're just like, why aren't you passing? And to help all the classes you are passing, they don't care about that. They just care about the ones you're not passing. And schools like that also as well. And in an ideal world, it would be really dope if school was like anime. You know, if you want to be a ninja or you go to the Chunin exams, you go into your hero school, you're trained to be in the scouts, but maybe not that part. Okay. No one wants to fight titans, I'm sure. We're so glad in this world we don't have titans. But the point is that in anime, they are training for what they want to do in their life. So going on your strengths, a really good anime for this has to be Hunter x Hunter. Now, for those of you who have never seen Hunter x Hunter, pretty much about this kid named Gon who goes off to become a hunter, just like his dad who abandoned him because he was a pro hunter and wanted to live that pro hunter dream. Dad of the year, right? So that's pretty much the show. Check it out. And in the show, they talk about this thing called Nen, which is pretty much this ability to control your aura or your life force. And they talk about there's 6 categories of Nen that you will fall in. And this will be based off of 1, your natural strengths or natural abilities, which you were born with, the things you really cannot change. And number 2, that it is your environment in which you grew up in. Now, unfortunately, we can't do all the cool things such as taking a water divination test to figure out which category we belong in. But what we can do is apply the 2 ways they can tell about what category they can fall into to our own lives. So the first one, it would be your strengths, your natural born abilities. What is something that you are good at? And for myself, the best way I saw it was to look at what was I doing as a kid that just came so natural, so easy to me, but it was so hard for everyone else. And myself, it was math. One thing about myself is I love numbers. You know, as a kid growing up, I never cared what I wanted to be. I used to always say, I just always wanted to be rich. That's pretty much how I put it, to be honest. And my mom, she would give me pennies out of that jar, like the 5-gallon jar. But that's something I used to do for fun. I used to just count money. And I also love speaking. So putting that stuff into play, where I was like, you know what? My day job is payroll. And as far as the speaking part, that it's this YouTube channel talking about anime and self-improvement. Now, what's important here is to realize what you were good at above average, because you don't want to be average. Okay, there's nothing good about being average at something. And how you can tell that you're not really good at something is if you just have to work hard and you're not really seeing any kind of results, but seeing other people get the results that you would want, then that's something, or that's a signal that this is not for you. And the second part is your environment. And to put it in perspective, it would literally be, in my case, for example, anime. Growing up, that's all I watched. You know, for those of you who are younger, it was not cool to watch anime. You know, I used to get bullied in school for watching anime or running like Naruto or trying to practice hand signs when you're just a geek, pretty much. That's how I grew up, though. So, and even now, I'm still that way. So look at what kind of environment did you have growing up? Were you someone who always worked out? So you're in really great shape now, potentially could be a personal trainer. Were you someone who was always good with the ladies? So now you're going to be a dating coach. So the two combined, your natural abilities and what's your environment life, will really shape your strengths that you should have. Now, warning here, this does not mean to never focus on your weaknesses. Fundamentals are everything. You can suck at math, at trigonometry, but you better learn your arithmetic. You better know how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide. You don't need to know how to code or to create a website, but you should know what the layout should look like, or at least what the user experience should be. That way people click on your site and want to continue to come back. And bonus tip is that whether it's your business or your career, that does not define who you are or your strengths. To put in perspective, if you're someone and you're an insurance salesman and you hate selling insurance, that doesn't mean that you should just give up on sales entirely. That you should maybe try being a car salesman, or if you don't want to be a salesman in that kind of sense, try public speaking. You're still working on your strengths, that you are an effective communicator. You're just changing what you do because your job does not define you. So overall, have your fundamentals on your weaknesses, but always, always, always focus on your strengths. There is nothing good or cool about being average, and that most successful people, they got successful because they focused on one damn thing.